Welcome, everybody, to Crystal Kyle and Friends. Today we're going to be talking to David Dole, also known as the Rational National. He's a Canadian brother, and he is going to give us a detailed breakdown of exactly what went down in the Canadian election. Of course, as you all already know, this is a colossal rebuke of Trump because Trump was talking about making Canada the 51st state, and he also declared a trade war on them where he put a higher tariff on them than on like 90% of the countries in the world, basically everybody except China.
Yeah.
So there was this big backlash, and there was this, reviving of Canadian national pride. And so he'll have all the details as to how we got there. Talk a little bit about Mark Carney. I'm also a little curious about NDP, the further left party, and why he thinks they sort of collapsed in a sense.
Yeah, I'm curious about that as well.
Yeah,
and if there's anything to learn from that for our politics as well.
My theory is they're becoming more Americanized there, and you have negative polarization. And when there's negative polarization, the flight to safety is like, I just got to vote for the people who have the best chance of defeating the conservatives. And the conservatives say the same thing in the other direction.
Yeah, it's
right?
like a lesser evil.
Yeah.
Trump was unifying.
Yes.
Was unifying for them. You saw actually similar dynamic in France, remember? That rescued Macron.
Say that again.
Say
that again. Say his name.
Macron.
One more time. She took French classes, so she's got the in it, you know, little
now
twang. It's not a twang,
me.
but you get the point.
Yeah. Well, anyway, now I'm forgetting all the dynamics, but there was a coalescing between like the left and the liberals, and there was during the initial elections, there was a lot of strategic voting of just like, we have to block the right. And then Macron turned around and sort of like stabbed the left in the back, whatever. But yeah, you saw a similar dynamic of like left and liberal solidarity against a fascist threat.
Yeah, I forget her name, the female fascist.
Le Pen.
But I think she's in jail now, right? I think something happened where...
She was found guilty. I don't know if she's in jail right now, but there was like a misuse of party funds situation.
Sentenced to jail.
Yeah.
She was sentenced to jail. This is from March 31st, 2025, like last month. So.
Marine Le Pen.
Yeah.
I won't do my French version since you're going to make fun of me.
I like it. I say it because I like it.
Thanks, babe.
It's kind of hot, I'm just saying. All right, so before we get into that, though, we have some other stuff to get to. So Elon Musk, apparently, homie is on the rocks. It looks like he not only is maybe going to get the boot from Doge and the government, but he also looks like he might be getting the boot from Tesla.
Yeah, so this is a Wall Street Journal report, and their headline is Tesla board open search for a CEO to succeed Elon Musk. About a month ago, with Tesla stock sinking and some investors irritated about Musk's White House focus, Tesla's board got serious about looking for Musk's successor. Board members reached out to several executive search firms to work on a formal process for finding Tesla's next chief executive, according to people familiar. Tensions had been mounting at the company. Sales and profits were deteriorating rapidly. Musk was spending much of his time in Washington. Around that time, Tesla's board met with Musk for an update. Board members told him he needed to spend more time on Tesla, according to people familiar, and he needed to say so publicly. Musk did not push back. So he and Tesla, late last night, put out tweets saying this is all fake and this is all false, et cetera. Do you have those up in front of me? I have them up if you want me to.
All I have is his denial.
Okay, so he says it's an extremely bad breach of ethics that the Wall Street Journal would publish a deliberately false article failed to include an unequivocal denial beforehand by the Tesla board of directors. And he's quote tweeting Tesla, and this is all happening at like 1:30 in the morning, by the way, saying earlier today there was a media report erroneously claiming that the Tesla board had contacted recruitment firms to initiate a CEO search. This is absolutely false. There is a little bit of language word games going on here, though, because the Wall Street Journal report says that some board members reached out to these executive recruitment firms, whereas the denial says the Tesla board as a whole had not done that. So in any case, I mean, I believe the Wall Street Journal and not Elon Musk because he lies about everything.
Isn't the board, we looked this up one time months ago, the board is packed full of Elon sycophants.
Correct, yes.
So the fact that anybody on the board is in this mindset really speaks to there's a coup going on. There's a coup. They're trying to coup his ass.
His own brother is on that board. His brother's on the board. One of the like more liberal Murdoch, James Murdoch, is on the board. Like, it actually became an issue. I don't know. This is too in the weeds, but there was a lawsuit in Delaware over Elon's executive CEO compensation package. And one of the issues in that case was the fact that the board that granted him this package had no independence. because it was so closely tied. It's his brother, it's, so it's a family member and it's all these like close associates. So, because we looked at this before when Tesla started to shit the bed with Elon being such a toxic figure of like, how long before the board is like, we got to get rid of this guy. And we basically concluded that's unlikely to happen because they're all just there to be his sycophants. But apparently, even for them, it's gotten to a point. I also think Elon is kind of done with Tesla. And that is also, there's a little bit of that in this report as well, that he's tired of being the CEO of Tesla. He's been the CEO of Tesla for a long time. SpaceX is really, this is more my reading of some of the other reporting on him, that SpaceX is really where his passion is right now. He's just not that into Tesla. And, so yeah, I think he's sort of unhappy there. The company is obviously been destroyed by his association with it and how toxic he is. The Cybertruck is maybe the biggest flop in like automotive history, total and complete disaster. China has a vastly superior competitor in BYD that most of the world can avail themselves of. They're suffering also from the trade war is a problem for them too, which he has made clear, but had no influence really with Trump in order to get things changed there. So yeah, they're in a world of hurt.
It looks to me like he's just a con man and he's on to his next con because this one he got caught red-handed. You know what I'm saying?
Which one, the Doge or Tesla?
Well, I mean, both of them,
yeah.
Right? But Trump was saying Elon wants to go work on his cars now, so he's going to wrap it up in the government. And Elon was in there, oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so it looks to me like it basically like we hit a logical endpoint where his bullshit couldn't get him out of it anymore. Because as you know, Tesla sales have beyond imploded. I mean, we're talking, what, 71% decrease in profit?
In net income, yeah.
And that's with after they cooked the books. That's like, hey, this is the best number we can come up with when we play our tricky math game, right?
Yep.
And so I think he's just on to his next scam. The fact that his own people might be trying to force him out, very Game of Thronesy. That's a very Game of Thronesy thing, right? You think, oh, I got all the people around me who are good with me in power, etc. And then eventually they're like, this guy's got to go, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
this guy's killing us.
The whole thing is at stake. I mean, Tesla's only prayer is to get rid of him and completely basically rebrand because Tesla owners in the U.S. are by and large like California affluent liberals. And then now you have this guy who's like the biggest Trump sycophant. And by the way, like doing a Sig Heil and going and, supporting the AfD in Germany and all of these things. Like it was utterly predictable that the customer base would be like, no, especially at a time when they have other options.
Why wouldn't he be cooked with anything he tries to do now? Because if you really think about how toxic his name is, this is the guy who's responsible for cutting 50% of the Social Security offices in this country, trying to make it collapse under its own weight. He slashed pediatric cancer research. Not only that, but the business community is not going to like him because he was involved with the Trump regime as they were doing tariffs, which are about to implode the global economy. They're all going to feel the pain from it. I sort of think that, yeah, he's going to try to do his next snake oil salesman bit, but I think he might hit a brick wall. I think he's worn out his welcome, not just in the government. I think among the business community, they're like, we don't want to work with this guy. This guy, he really outed himself as a total fucking dead-eyed psychopath. The way he tweets is like an unhinged schizophrenic, right? And so I don't know. I think he might be done in the long run where he's never going to reach the same level of fame and success that he already did. Like the bubble has burst with the idea of him as this misunderstood, eccentric genius. Now everybody looks at him like this guy's a fucking idiot and he ruins everything he touches.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to that because just like Trump, Elon really is a brand, right? And he had a lot of the country, a lot of the world, certainly the business community snowed into believing he was this like incredible once in a century genius. And just with Doge, like just look at Doge. Elon says we're going to cut $2 trillion. Then he says we're going to cut $1 trillion. Then he's like, we're going to cut $150 billion. Even that's a fucking lie. Government spending is actually up. Like he's done a lot.
Also, all of it's illegal anyway.
Right. He's done. They don't care about that.
Yeah, they don't care about that part.
He's done a lot, but all of it incredibly damaging.
Right.
And none of it living up to, efficiency or budget cutting. None of it. Like by the metrics they set out, which were always bullshit, but by their metrics, total and complete failure. And when you look at that, and then he puts his name effectively on the ballot in that Supreme Court race, is thoroughly rebuked in that way as well. So is a political loser too. And if you watch that clip of the Trump meeting where he says, Elon, he's welcome to stay as long as he wants, but I think he wants to get back to his car companies. And everybody's giving him like a pity clap around the table.
With his like 7 hats on his head where he thinks he's acting like a toddler.
Yeah, I mean, and it's sad. Like, they all look like they feel bad for him at this point. That is so different from when he came in with all this swagger and he's lording over Trump in the Oval and he's lording over the cabinet meeting, and it's like it's his government and the news is following everything that he says and he does. And now he's having to kind of like quietly slink out of town, having completely failed. And with his electric car company, which is really his sort of signature brand, in the total toilet, and the board sneakily trying to replace him. Yeah, he bet big with Doge. And this is what he does. Like, he loves to double down. He loves to place the big bet. He's one of these that's not happy unless everything is all out there and on the line. And for, in this instance, in many instances, those things have paid off for him in the past. In this instance, it was a total and complete failure. And there will certainly be consequences for that.
Yeah. Hey guys, we did an awesome interview with David Dole of the Rational National YouTube channel. We talked about the Canadian election and how Donald Trump was decisive in that election, making it so that the Liberals and Mark Carney ended up winning. You don't want to miss this. We go deep on Pierre Poilievre, who's the conservative, and Mark Carney, the liberal. So go ahead and sign up below on Substack and watch the whole thing.